Well, it's Friday. For today, we're going to be doing two reviews. The first one is from Tokyo Pro Wrestling. Now, as you all know, I'm way behind on this one that dates back all the way to April. I'm going to focus on that one for the right now. So this one is part of the Spring Tour 2005, and they made a pit stop at Sapporo, which is going to be interesting. Now, nothing too special, but of course, some matches you can say it are preliminary matches for title matches or feuds, however you want to go for it. So it's going to be a real fun event. But however, let's talk about the much recent event. As you know, New Japan Pro Wrestling continue on with, of course, with New Japan Soul, as we feature, of course, some interesting matches. As you know, we have the opening last two slots in the G1, featuring, of course, playing in matches for the A block and B block. So who will be taking those final spots? So that's going to be a lot of interesting. And then, of course, we have the never open weight six-man tag team titles that will be defended. As you know, the House of Torture, who've been known for a long time, like, I'm not going to defend those titles because you guys are a bunch of losers. Well, let's see how these losers lose to a team that, as you know, they've been having a little bit of fun with them. We're talking about Toru Yano, Master Wato, and Yo. So that's going to be a lot of fun to go to. And then, of course, the main event, the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, is defended. Gabe Kidd defends it against the ace himself, Hiroshi Tanahashi. The real question is, will Gabe Kidd remain as champion, or the ace will prevail to continue with his Grand Slam before he retires? So that is something we're definitely going to be reviewing. And then, of course, we cap up our episode, as usual, with some news updates. Now, we're only going to focus on some developments, so buckle up, alright, guys? So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with your jibber jabbers. Buckle up, get ready for the ride. So, let's begin with Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling. Okay, Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling. Well, it's been a while since I actually reviewed. I think this was since April. But now we're going to catch up to all of them that we have unable to review because I've been caught up with everything else. But we're going to start back all the way to April 26th for the Spring Tour 2025 in Sapporo. Now, I don't know if anybody watched that, but if you haven't, then, well, here's the review for what I think. As always, we have Sayuri Nama. This is prior her departure. She did her usual, the greetings, the info on the matches, and all this other stuff. And of course, we had the usual Up Girls performance as always. Now, our first match, we have Chika Nanaze taking on Imawari. Now, to be fair, nothing special about it, but we have seen these ladies grow up completely. I mean, we've seen them how they developed. Now, I've always considered Imawari maybe a bit more experienced than Chika Nanaze, to be honest, since observing every matches these ladies have done. And that kind of confirmed it in some way because it was Imawari who picked up the win when she applied a single leg crab hold. And just like that, Chika Nanaze had no choice but to tap out, giving Imawari the win. Now, our next match is a three-way. We have Ura Takami versus Kaya Toribami versus Mahiro Kiru. Now, of course, when it comes to three-ways, it's unpredictable how the outcome's going to be. But however, observing this match, I always thought about the outcome that it could lie to two people between Kaya Toribami or Mahiro Kiru, due to the fact that Ura Takami is still a bit of the less experienced of the two. And that kind of plays out, but also in a factor, she is most likely be the the one to take the fall, and that's exactly what happened because it was Kaya Toribami that was able to apply an inside cradle, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, she picked up the win. Next up, we have Ivy Steele and Kira Summer, who we recently in time been watching them team up a lot. Two foreign wrestlers, one from the UK, one from Australia, were able to team up. They face against, of course, Pam Harajaku and Raku. Now, the one thing they all need to be aware of, steer clear from Raku because she'll put you to sleep with her usual lullaby, which often work. But, however, you probably would think it's going to be crazy. It did. But, however, it was Raku who walked away with the win when she applied a real nicely done guillotine headlock. And just like that, it was on Ivy Steele, and Ivy had no choice but to tap. Now, our next match, we have Yoshiko Hasegawa versus Yuki Aino. Now, as you probably know, we're in July, so soon as you know, she will be retiring. So, as much as I will do all the missed out Tokyo Super Wrestling, I will review those regardless. And I think this is a pretty good opportunity because we have seen her grown up. I know she came back a couple years ago. She joined Gambari, then left due to the fact that Gambari are no longer being part of the Wrestle Universe or Cyber Fight, whatever. But seeing her grown up has always been great. But unfortunately, she has to face against Yuki Aino, who we have seen grown up too, from day one since she started with the Bakuratsu sisters with her sister Nonoka. But seeing Yuki Aino grow up, I have to say I do see a lot of potential in her. And as always, Yuki Aino continues to impress us when she applied the Venus DDT, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Our next match, we have Shino Suzuki teaming up with Toga and Haru Kazushiro. They take on Mifu Ashida, Wakana Uehara, and Yuki Kamifuku. Now, in recent times, we have seen, of course, Yuki and Wakana teaming up countless times, and I think it's amazing to see these two ladies. But I have seen, of course, Mifu team up with Wakana a few times. And I have to say, these three ladies are a good team. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they form like a somewhat of a group together, which would be awesome. I mean, they kind of fit together. And seeing them, it ended up with, of course, Yuki applying a famouser on Shino, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Our next match, we have Aruna Neko teaming up with Rika Tatsumi. They take on our current Princess champions, Hyper Misawa and Shoko Nakajima. Now, of course, when it comes to Hyper Misawa, you know how she is. She does her usual, speak and all that. Rika Tatsumi is a bit more predictable. Shoko Nakajima, known as Big Kaiju, you all know how that will roll up. And not to mention, we cannot forget that Rika Tatsumi and Hyper Misawa were once close friends. So, that kind of thing. But in the end, it was Shoko Nakajima that walked away with the win onto Haruna Neko. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our main event, we have Umoka Miyamoto, Yuki Arai. They team up with, of course, Miyu Watanabe. They take on Daisy Monkey, Arisu Endo, and Zuzumi. They team up with the Princess of Princess champion Mizuki. So nothing too special, but I'm going to presume that, of course, Mizuki, who is the champion, most likely someone could pin her. I mean, we know Miyu Watanabe lost to her once before, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But in the end, it was Mizuki with a double foot stop onto Moka Miyamoto, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. So that's pretty much what happened on that day. Now we will continue to catch up with all of the events that they've done. Now we're jumping in with May, but that's going to be at another time. But right now, let's move on to the next review, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, day 8 of New Japan Pro Wrestling's New Japan Soul, and they made their pit stop in Tokyo at the Budokan. So that's going to be a good venue. Now we opened up with, of course, with the House of Losers, or should I say the House of Torture? But I like to call them the House of Losers because they like to cheat. So we have, of course, Dick Togo, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, um, Doiki Sanada, and Evil. Now, recent time, ever since we saw, of course, Doiki, Chase Owens, and Don Fale, formerly known as Balak Fale, joined House of Torture. The House of Torture has been making their message clear that they're the ones in control because now they got the bigger numbers. However, we have seen recent times House of Torture try to find ways to cheat their way through to win. However, this time they have to go through Tiger Mask, Yuji Nagata, Shota Umino, Taichi, and Tomohiro Ishii. However, we did see moments where Taichi has made a beeline between both on Doiki. As you know, Doiki turned his back on Taichi, Yuya Uemura, and Taka Michinoku. You probably can guess he hasn't forgotten for his betrayal for joining the House of Torture, and that was one of the things. And I'm sure Taichi will love nothing more to tear him apart for his betrayal, because we know those two guys have gone way back. They knew each other back during for years, and now it's Taichi who's going to make him pay for his betrayal. But luckily, it was, of course, Shota Umino who picked up the win with the STF on Dick Togo, which he deserved. And just like that, Dick had no choice but to tap out. So this is a good win for, of course, Hantai, but of course, an embarrassment loss for the House of Losers. Now, our next match, we have the United Empire, Jacob Austin Young, Cal Newman, and Great Khan taking on Hiromu Takahashi, Yota Tsuji, and Shingo Takagi, what is now the former members of LIJ. So you probably can guess that maybe this could be the beginning. Maybe from what I'm understanding, they're saying that LIJ is on hiatus. We're not sure if that's the case, but the real question is, do they still have that same spark? I have to say they do, because in the end it was Shingo with the Made in Japan onto Jacob Austin Young, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, they picked up the win. Our next match, we have TMDK. We have Hartley Jackson, Kosa Fujita, and Zack Sabre Jr. They take on Bolton Oleg, Yuya Uemura, and El Desperado. Now, this is a preliminary match for anybody who asks. As you probably know, Kosa Fujita is set to face El Desperado for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, which, as you all know, Kosa Fujita is this year's winner for the Best of the Super Juniors, which is a monumental moment for him. And of course, for Zack Sabre Jr., I think this will give Kosa Fujita strength now that he regained the IWGP World Heavyweight title, that this will give Kosa Fujita the momentum that he needs. But however, that momentum was cut short when, of course, Yuya Uemura took out Hartley Jackson with the with the amazing Hurricanrana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, as you know, we have the G1 Climax 35 play-in matches. Now, we have 2 available spots for the A block and the B block. So basically, we already have set with, of course, Cal Newman winning the A block, and I forgot who was the other one. And Drilla Maloney also in one. I think the B block. I think Newman has the B block, while Drilla Maloney has the A block. However, these are the last two spots. Now, representing for the A block, we have Rohei Oiwa versus Satoshi Kojima. Now, of course, many people would probably say Rohei Oiwa deserves a shot because he's a bit more younger. He's really established himself really better than he always is. And I have to say he has, but he was able to pick up the win when he applied, of course, a lariat. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, we jump into the G1. We have the G1, of course, the G1 Block B playing. We have Chase Owens and Yoshihashi. Now, as you know, Yoshihashi has been close and really good friends with Hirooki Goto, and I'm sure for Yoshihashi, devastated to hear about Goto losing the title. Now he wants to step up. I mean, many people have often said it's time for this kid to step up on his own, and that's exactly what I think he's going to do. But he has to go against Chase Owens, who is, as you know, the latest acquisition to join the House of Losers. And of course, Chase Owens is a bit aggressive. But in the end, it was Yoshihashi with the karma, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Just like that. Now, our next match is the main event, semi-main event. We have the never openweight 6-man tag team titles. Yo, Master Wato, and Toru Yano will face the House of Losers. More specifically, Sho, Yujiro Takahashi, and Ren Narita. Now, keep in mind, guys, for a long time, it's no secret, as you know, that the House of Losers will never put their championships on the line because they claim, you don't deserve this, bastards, because you're losers. Well, the actual losers are the House of Torture. But of course, we know that Wato and Yo, along with Yano, knew how to press these guys' buttons because they like to steal things that claim that they're theirs, but now they have to go through that. But of course, when it comes to those idiots, they always try to find ways to cheat. But however, it did not work because unfortunately it backfired. We did see, of course, some miscues from the House of Torture, and then the best moment is when Yo put a bag over to Yujiro Takahashi, and Yano, of course, well, he did give double shots in the gonads on both Yujiro and Kanemaru, and just like that, Yano pinned what's his name, Yujiro, with a schoolboy, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, brand new, never openweight 6-man tag champions. But however, this is a blow to the balls onto, of course, the House of Losers. They'd probably say, how the hell did this happen? But however, the best part is, we do know that Yo and Master Wato will get another opportunity for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles that they lost thanks to the unforgettable tactics of the House of Losers. But now you got to ask yourselves, should be Yo and Doki be concerned about the show, and Doki should be more concerned the fact that things didn't go their way? Who knows? But anything's a possibility. So we'll see about that. Now, our next match we have is the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Gabe Kidd defends it against, of course, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and he was the one who requested it. Gabe was the one who wanted this match because, as you know, Gabe Kidd always claimed that he was the actual future of New Japan. He thinks that Yota Tsuji, Shota Umino, Yuya Uemura, to him, in his eyes, they don't deserve to become the future because they're not even worthy. And he proved it by defeating Yota Tsuji for the title, and that's exactly what he did. And now he faces against the Ace, a man he looked up to, believing now that it's his time to, of course, ascend the throne before Tanahashi, in fact, retires. And that's exactly what he tried to do. But of course, the reason he chose him was because it's not because Tanahashi is the Ace. It's because he feels he still has the fighting spirit within him, no matter what. Because we have seen over the years, the last couple of years, Tanahashi's body is not what he used to be. We know he has knee problems. We know he's not as he used to be in the past. But of course, Tanahashi, as you probably know, he can hold his own, no matter how much his body is, of course, limited. And we know Gabe Kidd is the toughest SOB that we can watch. And of course, it only took at least a pile driver by Gabe Kidd to put away Tanahashi. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, he retained the title, making his second defense successful. So the real question is, what's next? Well, we'll see what happens. We do know Tanahashi will be retiring 6 months from now. So that's going to be interesting. So As of right now, we are officially done. And of course, let's move on with our lasting news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. Now, for the record, I do not have any upcoming events to, of course, update for all of you, but I do have some interesting developments. Now, as you know, we talked about New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was already been confirmed that Hirooki Goto is being forced out to participate in the G1 Climax due to the fact that he injured himself in the main event when he lost the IWGP World Heavyweight title to Zack Sabre Jr. So basically, his spot in the G1 is officially open. However, New Japan Pro Wrestling decided that there's going to be a last chance play-in gauntlet match that will take place soon. So this will happen on July 6th in Corkin Hall. So the real question is, who will take that spot? Now, we do know that possibly some of the wrestlers who lost to the play-in matches may get another opportunity, or wrestlers who probably were not meant to be in the G1 but they wanted to be in it anyway. So we'll see how things will roll up from there, so stay tuned for that. Now, this was coming from Will Ospreay's X account. As you all know, he is the executive producer for the all-women's British promotion Eve, or known as Pro Wrestling Eve. Kris Statlander is the new, of course, Eve International Champion. So basically, now she won a title outside of the United States. And yeah, so basically he was willing to share the news. So I don't know if she'll be able to show that title in AEW, but we'll just have to wait and see. So if there's any if they ever put this anywhere, I probably will try to review it for all of you, but we'll see. But as of right now, we'll end things here and just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we probably have AEW Collision to do, so that's going to be interesting to Joe. Now, I haven't decided yet if there's any other events that I might review. I may able to do maybe one or two more, depending on my day, because I'll be heading to the movies to watch Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, many of you probably think maybe that movie's not that good. Well, I'm a big fan of the Jurassic films, in case anybody asks. But can't wait to see it. But if there's any other updates regarding certain events and things that we've been hearing, I'll let you guys know about that too. Now, I have been hearing reports about the upcoming 5-star Grand Prix. I may do that on a separate video just to keep you guys updated on that. So stay tuned for that as well. So, but for the next episode, the primary will be AEW Collision. If there's anything else, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, let's end things here. And until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.